President Trump is set to visit Beijing between May 14th to May 15th. So, and many expect that Taiwan is going to be one of the topics that is going to be discussed. But if Chinese President Xi Jinping were to press the US to explicitly oppose Taiwanese independence, how do you think that President Trump would react, and how could that actually affect US policy towards Taiwan?
Right. Obviously, I don't comment on hypothetical questions, but the Trump administration has been clear on many occasions that our Taiwan policy, our one China policy, has not changed. And this has been a policy that's been consistent across administrations since 1979. And if you look at our one China policy, the White House recently pointed out the fact that our one China policy, which is based on the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 communiques, the 6 assurances, is actually structured in a way that we can seek stable US-China relations without sacrificing a strong US-Taiwan relations. And so if you look at the US-Taiwan partnership, it's going from strength to strength. You see the US and Taiwan relationship going deeper and deeper. At the same time, we don't see that as a trade-off with a stable US-China relationship. In fact, we think these two tracks are mutually reinforced.
But earlier this year, there were actually some concerns raised after President Trump, when he was asked about his phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping and also additional arms sales to Taiwan, where President Trump actually said that he will be discussing the issue with Xi. So that led to some concerns in Taiwan, wondering, like, what does it mean, or does it signal a change to the 6 assurances?
Right. I mean, after that, the episode you discussed, the White House is very clear in reiterating that our Taiwan policy remains consistent. And so I would just refer you to the White House because they obviously are the closest to that issue.
There's also speculation that President Lai would be doing his foreign trip, visiting diplomatic allies, and that also includes transit through the US. Do you think that May is a good timing?
We aren't tracking any requests for any high-level travel from Taiwan. As you know, it's been long the U.S. practice for Taiwanese leaders who are traveling to Latin America to transit the United States and the U.S. To arrange for their transits to ensure the dignity, comfort, safety, and convenience of the traveler.
KMT Chairperson谷立言, she has expressed hope that she wants to visit Washington, D.C. In her words, hopefully the first half of this year. What message did the U.S. hope to convey to Taiwanese opposition parties?
Yeah, we've seen the reports. We don't have any specific plans that we've received from Chairwoman Zheng to visit the United States, but we are very happy to welcome visits by senior Taiwan political leaders. Just the other day, we had a very successful visit by the Taichung mayor, Liu Xiuyan. And we here in Taiwan regularly reach out to party leaders on all sides. Our message is very consistent. Obviously, we talk about the deep respect we have for Taiwan's democracy, as well as the role that all the political parties play in deepening U.S.-Taiwan relations, whether it's in the security sphere, economic, or people-to-people ties. Obviously, right now there's a lot of focus in the United States on the special defense budget and Taiwan's security. In the U.S. Congress, we have partisan politics as well. But one of the few areas I think there's a cross-partisan consensus in the United States is on security issues, particularly security in the Taiwan Strait. And I think we see the same commitment here in Taiwan, and so we hope to see the same spirit as Taiwan looks at some of these significant security challenges, as well as issues like defense budgets.
When we talk about defense budget, let's talk about numbers. So the legislative yuan is currently reviewing the special defense budget. But if, this is of course a hypothetical question, but if the final approved amount is lower than 1.25 trillion NTD, how do you think that would affect Taiwan's self-defense capabilities?
As you know, President Trump and the Trump administration has asked all of our allies and partners to increase their defense spending to 5% of GDP. And we very much welcome President Lai's announcement that Taiwan will hit that target by 2030. And on the road to that target, we see the special defense budget as a very important first step. Obviously, in addition to the amount of money that's spent, it's on how Taiwan spends the money is very, very important. And so we look at this special defense budget that the Ministry of National Defense has proposed. It includes, I think, all of the capabilities we believe the Taiwan military needs to fulfill its role in deterring conflict across the Taiwan Strait. But also what's reflected in the budget is investment in Taiwan's own defense industrial base, especially to produce drone and other uncrewed systems. And we believe this is equally important for several reasons. On the one hand, I know many in Taiwan welcome it because of the economic advantages it provides to Taiwan's industry. But from our perspective, we think it gives Taiwan additional deterrent capabilities, and capabilities you can acquire actually quite quickly because Taiwan has such a deep industrial and manufacturing base. It also enables Taiwan to produce drones or munitions or other equipment on the island. So in the case, for example, of a blockade or some conflict where they couldn't be resupplied, it gives Taiwan additional resilience. And so we're very supportive of the contents of the special budget. We understand it's in the process of legislative review. But our position is we hope that all the parties will quickly come to a consensus because given the urgency of the threats Taiwan faces.
I want to move on to economic security.
Yeah.
So in your latest speech that you gave at Fund, you actually talk about how we have actually welcomed the new golden age between U.S. and Taiwan economic relations. I just want to ask and probe a bit further about after the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, many in Taiwan began asking whether it could affect the trade deal between U.S. and Taiwan. So what is your assessment of that?
Yeah, I think our government's been quite clear. U.S. Trade Representative Greer, after the Supreme Court ruling came out, it was very clear that we intend to abide by the agreements we've reached with our key trading partners. Our intent is to abide by the ART. I saw Vice Premier Zhang has also reaffirmed that Taiwan has a desire to stick to the negotiated agreement. So right now what we need to do on the U.S. side is to make revisions to the ART to reflect new legal authorities.
Because the time frame is not to be very long, it's in July, so now it's the end of March. So
right, so
we're looking.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to, I think almost by definition we'll need to move in the next couple of months towards resolution.
想看最完整的新闻内容，记得下载TVBS 新闻网 APP。